Today's the day, y'all. I'm gonna start the last volume of my struggle, and she's thick. So I thought, what better way to celebrate the start of the Knausgaard book than with a beer and a cigarette. So here we are. I'm excited for this. I've plowed through books 4 and 5 in the last couple weeks, and yeah, dog sitting for a buddy this week, so I'm just gonna fucking rail cigs, drink some beer, have some coffee, and make my way through this final volume. Should be fun. I do still have to work, so I won't just be able to spend all day doing this, but today and tomorrow, that's the plan. See how far I can get a good start. I'm also watching the NASCAR race right now, though, so probably go back in there in a second. It was the end of the first stage. I thought I would get a quick start on this book, read the first few pages out here, smoking a cig, and yeah. I'm excited to see where this goes. I kind of have a decent idea of what the book is anyway, just because it's been out for a while and there's so much talk around it. But yeah, figured I'd drag y'all along with me, because why the hell not? All right, day 2 of my struggle book 6. I'm on page 78, and I've got a cup of coffee with me today. Should be good. I think it's like 9:15 in the morning. Slept in a little bit, but nothing crazy. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. It's a little different than the other volumes, which I kind of expected it to be, but so far, so good. It's interesting to see his process of, he's actually publishing the books now. So he's writing about writing the books in the books, which is nuts, but kind of cool. Just took a little nap. I raked some leaves earlier, And then I came back here, read a little bit, and yeah, got a bottle of wine. So I'm gonna keep reading for a little bit. I'd like to get 200 pages in tonight, and I should be able to do that. It's 7:30ish, and I'm on page 140, I think. So, yeah, I've got this Riesling, I think is how you say it. Classic blue bottle action. So it's pretty good. I'm normally a red wine type of guy, but I do like a Riesling on a warm day, and I was sitting outside drinking a little bit of it earlier before I went for my nap. So it's a nice little wine. Right, about 260 pages in now. It is the night of day 3. Got home from work to where I'm dog sitting. I did a little 2-mile run, and then I cooked a pizza, ate the pizza, and while I was doing all that, I read like 30 pages. And yeah, he's been on a rant about identity and the I, the we, and the me for at least 25 pages now. I'm enjoying it. But it's just like, this is why the book is over 1,200 pages long, because he's just writing, and I enjoy it when he just writes. But I could see why people would not put this amongst their favorite of the 6 books. So early on, I'm gonna try to get to at least page 300 tonight. Shouldn't have too much trouble doing that, unless something crops up. But yeah, just taking it a piece at a time and enjoying it. So we'll update again later, or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. About 350 pages in to the book now, and yeah, I'm liking the book, but I probably shouldn't say it. Well, I made it to page 500 in my struggle book 6. And it's storming, and Belle does not like thunder. She thinks she can yell at it and it'll stop. So, not the sharpest tool in the old shed, but she's pretty cute. So, there you go. Scare it off. That'll work. All right, I finished the bit on the Salon poem, and it looks like we're about to dive straight into Hitler and Mein Kampf. So I've got 400 pages of that to look forward to, and I will start them tomorrow. I have to feel like it's got to be interesting at the very least, but we'll see. I'm not the most excited for this section of the book. Like half this book is just essay, like almost pseudo-academic essay. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So we'll see. But I'm going to bed tonight. So it's been at least a month since I've read any of this. Took a break. I've been reading all sorts of random shit, but I'm gonna get back into it and try to knock out these last 550 some odd pages this week, hopefully. So yeah, excited to do that. And I think the break was good for me. I think I had read the previous 2 books back to back, and then I read the first 670 pages of this right after that. And so that was just like 2,000 pages of the same author, which for me is just a lot. I don't normally do that, so yeah. I just passed page 800, so, 2/3 of the way through the book, and I'm so ready for this section to be over, honestly. 400-page essay on Hitler, too many pages, right? That's just another book that could have, I get why he included it, I guess, but he also hasn't really brought it back in. I'm hoping and wondering if at the end of the section he makes it make sense with where it's going within the book. Like, I understand the context outside of the book of why he did it, but I wonder if he like lands the plane, I guess, for lack of a better, you know. But yeah, I think around page 900 is when this section ends. So about 100 pages left in this section, and then I get to move on to the final bit, and I'm excited for that. Get back to the gossipy life shit. The NBA play-in games are on, so I'm kind of keeping up with that in the background. I finished the extremely long essay. So I'm on page 909, which leaves me with just over 300 pages to go, which should absolutely be doable this week. So, and it should be a lot easier going now that he's just more or less back to writing what he would normally write about and not going on and on about Hitler and Mein Kampf and whatever other. He still will go on tangents, I'm sure, but maybe more related to him. All right, page 943 out of 1232. We ain't got too much left, but I'm gonna read a bit more tonight before I call it a night. And yeah, it's weird. I'm enjoying it more now that he's back to his life and not Hitler. But it's like I want to finish, but I also kind of don't know what I'm gonna do when it ends because it's such a long journey. He has a bunch of other books I can read, of course. Some of which deal with his life a little bit. So, but yeah, it's gonna feel kind of strange to finish this, I think. But also be sort of a relief because it's long as hell. I've got maybe 180 pages left of of the book. I'm gonna try to finish today. If I don't finish today, I'm gonna try to finish tomorrow. I think I can finish today, and it'll be nice. It'll be nice to finish it off on a Sunday. I think I started it on a Sunday, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. But we're getting very very close to the end, so that's exciting. I've got maybe 180 pages left of of the book. I'm gonna try to finish today. If I don't finish today, I'm gonna try to finish tomorrow. I think I can finish today, and it'll be nice. It'll be nice to finish it off on a Sunday. I think I started it on a Sunday, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. But we're getting very very close to the end, so that's exciting. I just passed page 1100, so that leaves me with about 130 pages to go. So I'm going to do this today, one way or another. I don't think it'll be that difficult at all. It's like 4:30, I think. So I've got plenty of time. So, yeah. I'm once again fully invested in this. So, done. This was a journey. And obviously, I was just vlogging this last volume, but I mean, all 6 volumes. Like, I feel like I was a different person when I started these, which is sort of an exaggeration. Because when did I read the first one? Like August or September of 2024. I think So we're talking, I mean, less than 2 years, um, for sure. I wrote a little piece on my Substack maybe a month ago, talking about like the first 5 volumes and reading them just in brief. But yeah, I mean, just it's one of those things like when you read a really long book or like a book series for the first time, or just any impactful book, but I think it's more true with longer works. Um, it kind of sticks with you like when and where you were when you read each one, what was going on in your life. And you know, when I started the first book, I was in I guess a relatively serious relationship, and then when I started the second book, I had just gotten out of that. Um, Reading the third book, I had this little fling going on. Um, and yeah, just a just a long journey, obviously. Time between each book. I read it in spurts. I read the first one, and then, you know, 8, 9 months later, however many that worked out to be, I read the next two pretty close together. And then I came back in about 2 months ago or so. I read books 4 and 5. And then after that, I went straight into book 6, ended up taking about a month off or something like that, I think, in the middle, because there's that 400 pages of an essay on Hitler that I just needed a break from. It was just it it wasn't what I liked about these books. It wasn't that honest reflection. Um, the books are honest, I think, without being factual, which is an important distinction. Um, I think it's that honesty, that this is how Karl Ove remembers things happening, and he admits that just because that's how he remembers it, or just, you know, the way memory works in general, that doesn't necessarily mean that he is correct and that everything in these is factual. Which is an important distinction, and he does mention it throughout the books. It's not meant to be read as fact, but as like kind of an honest recollection of how he felt and what he remembers. And I think that's fascinating. That's kind of one thing that draws you into the books, is just you feel that. Um, yeah, but so I think I think I kind of understood why, I guess, he had to put that 400-page essay in there, but I think it would have been better as a separate work, kind of as a appendix type thing, a companion volume for those who just really, really wanted to kind of know more. But I think it really took away from what this book could have been. It just tore it in half, basically, and it was fascinating. But it he gets you started, you know, with 400 pages of what you're used to from him, and then he goes for 400 pages of just on this massive tangent, um, and then he kind of caps it off with more of what you've grown used to, and more of what you like about the books. So I think if he had taken that middle part out, it would have made the book better as a novel. I think a lot of people agree with that. I don't think I'm alone in that at all. Um, yeah, it was. I don't even, it's difficult to even know what to say about it. I mean, I just finished maybe half an hour ago. And I think I'll be thinking about this for a long time. I think partially because it's such an epic work of literature. And there's all those memories from where I was, what I was doing when I was reading through it, which, you know, is interesting. It's absolutely worth the journey. I mean, I do think if you're not just a rigid completionist, I think you could pretty much stop. Yeah, I think you could pretty much skip over the essay, because let's see, it starts on in the section called "The Name and the Numbers," what I'm talking about. Picks up at page 429, and the section ends on page 905. And I think there's probably like 60 or 70 pages at the beginning of that section, maybe 50, something like that, that has more to do with the work as a whole, and talking about his father and what is in name, and like the use of names in his book, and how that kind of affects it, and like what he could do, what he couldn't do for legal reasons, and how he felt about that. But then it gets deeper and deeper into Nazis and everything, and like I said, it's fascinating to read, but it should have been an entirely separate thing. You're really pulled out of the book. So yeah, it's a worthwhile endeavor. I think if you have any curiosity about the books, you should absolutely at least pick up the first one. I think my favorites were the second one and the fifth one, I would say. But yeah. If you're still watching, hell yeah. I don't expect it to be a lot of people that get here, but I thought I would just vlog the experience of reading this sixth book, because it may not sound like it, but it has had an impact on me in the way that I write, for sure, for better, for worse, to be determined. But I mean, it's definitely changed the way I look at literature and the novel, and what you can do as a writer, and led to some experiments and all sorts of things like that. So I wanted to kind of capture myself reading this final volume, if for nothing else than for me to look back on. That's a lot of the reason why I make these videos anyway. They don't get a lot of views, but I think it's fun for me. I mean, it's like looking at I may have mentioned this before on here, but it's like looking back at the home videos you made when you're growing up, and you get to see your grandmother that passed away. You get to see yourself when you were younger. And I think, no one was making those home videos for views. Not for like views in like terms of numbers of people watching. You were making them for your future self to look back on and be like, oh, remember that? And I think treating YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, whatever like that, is more rewarding. If you get other people who latch on and enjoy watching it, then that's great. I'm not opposed to that. I think it'd be cool, obviously, if more people were interested in it, but I think not doing that because I'm not getting the views is just silly. I'm gonna do it as long as it's fun, as long as I think it's worthwhile for what I want to do. And I'm just rambling at this point, but I kind of
think about writing the same way. So, but I've taken up enough time. So I don't know where I'm gonna go from here. I've got other stuff I'm reading, but it all feels kind of. This was the big accomplishment, and I don't know what big project I'm gonna take up next, or when I will do so, because the new William T. Vollmann books just got delayed again into August. So I have plenty of time to pick up another project before those come out. So anyway, I'm done rambling. Appreciate y'all, and I'll see you again soon.